out across from Armuchee High School. Welcome everybody to Later This Morning in Rome. Dr. Laurie Johnson is in the studio with me along with a couple of other folks. And I'm telling you, this stands to be a very outstanding program, Laurie, and I'm going to let you do the groundwork because one of our guests this morning, Donnie Edwards, is he's a phenomenon. In the respect of a lot of things he's involved in.
Yes, he is a phenomenon.
When he came into the parking lot this morning, I'm looking at him and I says, Laurie's bringing a kid out here. I mean, this guy looks like that he walked off a high school football field.
He does, he does,
What
he
is
does.
with this?
It's passion. It's called passion. Passion makes us look young and
hey,
vibrant.
I want some of that stuff.
There you go. There you go.
Tell us about Donnie.
Well, you know, you said that we might have some weather happenings, you know, and I was just going to say to you, Randy, that we brought the thunder today.
Yeah.
Yes. And the thunder is named Donnie Edwards, and I had a wonderful chance to meet him with the program that I'm involved in that our listeners are so patient to hear me talk about McKeever's First Ride every chance I get. But he has a wonderful story and a wonderful outreach, and he's here today with T, who is a big part of that outreach. And what's exciting is that I'm going to get to hear a lot of the story for the first time. So I'm just as eager as you are to find out, you know, what his background is and what his vision is and what his passion is, because as you could see, it is contagious.
Yes, it is that.
It is,
and,
it is.
Donnie, before you say anything, let me say that this guy is a man for all seasons. I mean, I've known him for 15 minutes and I found out that he's a recruiter for the United States Army. He's got a son that he just penned with aviation wings. He volunteers for everything. And he's still under contract to our Uncle Sam. And Donnie, we welcome you to the studios here in Rome. And I know you came to us from Alpharetta, Georgia. Tell us, now you got to remember, this is only an hour program.
Yes, sir.
But tell us about you. And I'm not sure that we can fit it all in an hour. Tell us about Donnie Edwards.
Let's see. First, I'd like to say good morning to everyone, the listeners, and thank you to Dr. Johnson, and thanks to you, Randy, and T's with me. I don't know what to say. I'm just a regular guy. I definitely enjoy being a father. That's one of my biggest things. My children, they're definitely my inspiration. So I just like being a dad. That's one of the things I enjoy. And yes, I am a soldier. I'm a recruiter for the United States Army. Don't hold it against me.
We're not gonna hold it against you.
I've been serving for about 12 years now. 12 years of service.
Yeah.
So this year, actually, my contract is up this year, and basically I decided to do other things. So the nonprofit is something I want to do full time. I enjoy volunteering, and that's something I want to do. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I'm the middle child. So I have an older sister and a younger brother, and then there's me, and that's about it. I mean, I don't know what to say about me.
Did you get involved in nonprofits through your military service?
No, basically, I can't forget my Feeding the Homeless Project family, but it all started with a supervisor of mine, Sergeant First Class James Long. I was stationed in Atlanta during this time, and I worked in the downtown location. And he came to me and he said he wanted us to do something as a team. And I've always been passionate about volunteering, so somehow I found the founder, Hugh Pafford, and him and I sat down and had breakfast, and we had a meeting. And I just basically told him who we were. You know, we were some recruiters and we were soldiers, and we wanted to give back. And he told us about his organization. And next thing you know, we were just out there volunteering, and it was great. We went to various locations to basically put some meals, together, and it was great. And next thing you know, little by little, of course, we're soldiers. It comes with the job. We move. So different parts of my team were moving. They were moving to different assignments, but I still remained there. My first assignment here was for about 4.5 years. So during this time, I continued to volunteer with Feeding the Homeless Project and continue to know more about what they wanted to do and just do more. But one of the things I noticed is that they were lacking hygiene essentials on a consistent basis. So I remember going to the founder and I said, hey, I got an idea. I said, I think I want to start a nonprofit and I want to focus on giving donated clothing and hygiene essentials on a consistent basis. And he thought that was a wonderful idea. He supported it. He mentored me. But then Uncle Sam gave me some orders, and I moved to Washington, D.C. So I stayed there in Washington, D.C. for about 2 years. And next thing you know, I'm back in Atlanta as of last year. So I went back to the founder and basically told him, I think I want to kick this off now. And he thought that was a great idea. And that's how it all started.
So you were talking with the founder of Feed the Homeless.
Yes, Feeding a Homeless Project. Yes, sir.
Right, right. You know, I can remember it's been several years ago now, but Feed the Homeless has been around for quite some time. I can remember they brought a tractor trailer load of food and essentials to Rome. Laurie, I don't know if you remember this or not, but they parked it on top of Jackson Hill, where the Rock Civic Center is, and they did the distribution there. And the way that was set up was actually by an NBA basketball player whose name escapes me.
Mike Glenn?
No, it wasn't Mike. It wasn't Mike. As a matter of fact, the guy whose name escapes me is currently still playing in the NBA. He lives in Atlanta in the off season, but he still plays. He doesn't play for Atlanta, and maybe I'll think of his name before the program's over. But that was my first knowing of this organization, and it was amazing what they brought to town. I didn't realize you could stick that much stuff in a truck.
Wow.
But so your organization though is different.
Yes.
You're spinning off from that.
Yes.
And going in somewhat of a different direction. So yours is not Feed the Hungry, but yours is Hunger Has No Religion.
Yes, sir.
So how are they different?
Basically, they're different simply because our main focus, or one of our main focus, is to continue to give the hygiene essentials to the community. Things like, soap, deodorant, shaving cream, different things like that they need on a consistent basis. And also clothing. We also adjust to the weather as well, because there's nothing wrong with donating your clothing to other organizations. I'm not going to say the name because I don't know if I can, so I won't say it, but they sell these items. So just knowing that you're giving these clothing items to us and we're giving them to those in need and not selling them, I think that's a good thing. So that was my main focus, and that's how we're different. We don't handle per se the feedings. We don't do that. Although you hear that and you hear Hunger Has No Religion and you think, oh, they feed people. Well, we don't. Not to say that later down the line we won't do this, because we do have other visions that we want to do with this nonprofit.
So
but
would it be fair for me to say that you are working jointly with Feed the Hungry?
Feeding the Homeless Project? Yes. That's fair to say. I pretty much have been with them probably about 5 years now. So yes, we try to work together as a team. And they're a great group of people to work with. Hugh Pafford, the founder, who has stepped down now, so we have a new chairman. He's great. We keep in contact. But they're a great organization. I just decided in some way to kind of branch off a little bit, just to add to what we're doing out there, and just the vision that I have. And funny thing about it, everything started from either a vision or someone else. So I didn't have the name. I didn't have a name of what I wanted the organization to be. No name whatsoever. So one day I was with a friend of mine. We've been friends for over 20 years now. And her name is Adelia Muhammad. And I went out with her on a Sunday, and she does the same thing. She drives in the communities, and she's a caterer. So she prepares meals at home. And she just goes out and she talks to everyone in the community in the downtown Atlanta area. So she knows how I am about volunteering. She called me and she said, hey, this is what I'm doing one Sunday. You want to come out? And I said, sure. I said, you know, I would love to. So I came out, and you know, I just saw the work that she did, and I thought it was awesome. And afterwards, it was all over. She wanted me to speak to the group, and they're all Muslims, and I just basically thanked them for allowing me to come out there and to serve with them. And I said, in my opinion, I said, hunger has no religion, so I enjoy what you guys are doing. And that was it. That's all I said. And then maybe 30 minutes later, one of the young ladies that I was serving with were Facebook friends. And we all know social media is a big thing. And there was a collage, and she basically put on the top in bold letters, hunger has no religion. I was like, hey, I said that. You know?
So it just stopped.
Yeah, so it just stuck. But, you know, I felt flattered by that. So, you know, I commented, and I told her, you know, I said, hey, I like that. And then she quoted me on it after I commented, which she didn't need to do, but I like that. So when I saw that, I said, you know what? I said, there it is. I just had a great feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, you know, I took the name, I trademarked it, and I just went from there.
Wow.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at your logo right now, and it's a pretty doggone intriguing logo.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love the logo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, now how I got the right to interview you today is because of the lady sitting over here on my right,
Dr. Johnson.
and that is Laurie Johnson. Laurie called me one day, and she says, I want you to meet this dynamic young guy, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Laurie gets
Thank you.
animated. You know what I'm saying? Donnie, have you noticed that she gets animated?
Yeah, she gets excited.
I mean, she really gets
I love her
animated.
spirit.
And I said,
She gets
hey,
excited.
I can't wait to meet her.
Uh,
And so here you are today, but there must have been something magical in the way that first meeting between the two of you
yes, indeed.
went,
Yes.
because you seem to be flabbergasted by what this guy does. And
Yes.
Laurie, why don't you tell me about that?
Well, I would be glad to. And you know, it's funny, you were just asking Donnie about his connection with Feeding
Yeah.
the Homeless Project. And it was neat getting to meet them originally, because through them I kind of met Donnie. And one of the things that I learned from them, which Donnie wouldn't tell you, of course, is that they have the Donnie Edwards Spirit Award.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, that's the kind of dynamism that he has, and he brings to everything. And I'm real eager to ask you in a second, Donnie, where that comes from. But that's going to be the good part. Let me just get through the business part first.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
business part is essentially that in working with McKeever's First Ride.
Now, tell us what that is.
Okay, McKeever's First Ride was a vision that Deanie McKeever and I had in 2009. She had seen a 2-minute feature on Good Morning America that was showing how the caisson horses at Arlington Cemetery, who beautifully, honorably bring the fallen soldier to rest, were being double dutied as therapy horses.
Mm-hmm.
And so fellas and girls were coming back through to Walter Reed with, you know, massive injuries, oftentimes multiple amputations, and they were getting to do recuperation through the benefit of contact with horses and through riding horses, because the horse's gait mimics the human more than anything
Mhm.
else. And so where the body needs to reboot, how do I move my core, how do I move my body to walk now that I don't have, you know, an arm or 2 legs or 1 leg or whatever. So when we saw that, it was like, okay, this has to get out there. We have to find ways to get this out there. So, you know, we worked briefly with the national, with the DOD and everything, and then took it privately to be a opportunity to introduce that horses don't have to be scary. Horses can be wonderful friendship, companionship, as well as benefit us physically and cognitively. So along the way, when we learned that we could engage military and veterans in participating at McKeever's, because we were concerned at first